we are speaking with Vince Rapisura, financial expert and mentor who is currently in Taiwan. Vince, welcome back.
Hi, thank you. Sorry, naputol yung ating linya kanina.
Okay, going back to my question, nakausap mo na ba o nakahalubilo mo na ba or have you had the chance to mingle with the over 150,000 Filipinos in Taiwan?
Yes, oo. Yung trinain natin actually, Cito, no, mga factory workers and teachers, domestic workers, and caregivers dito sa Taiwan. And nakausap natin sila about how to fix their finances. Kasi marami pala sa kanila nababaon sa utang. And also, they want to know about mga investments on how they can place their earnings in the Philippines. So, syempre, pre-promote natin ang SSS, ang Pag-IBIG, ang mga retail treasury bonds ng gobyerno.
Okay, now that was the reason why we reached out to you. Because my wife said that the Pag-IBIG program or some program of Pag-IBIG was actually a good investment. No, you know, sorry, I'm Jurassic. I said, hello, Pag-IBIG is housing. What investments are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
And apparently, I'm the illiterate in the room.
Actually, the Pag-IBIG was established as primarily the national savings program of the government. Unfortunately, that's not the popular knowledge. As our national savings program.
So it was established as a national savings program?
Yes. Oo. Kasi remember, ang every one of us, especially employees, are required to enroll in Pag-IBIG, and then you save every month 100 pesos, and then there's a counterpart from the employer which is 100 pesos also. So that's the main essence of the fund of Pag-IBIG. So it's a mutual fund where we all become a members, and then the fund that they get from that, that's the fund that they use for housing.
Okay, so hindi siya housing talaga, fund development siya. And so, okay, now talk to us about what you are promoting, especially to Filipinos in Taiwan, regarding investments. Because there's so many people looking for investment possibilities. Nauuwi lang sa baboy, sa manok, sa buy and sell. But the next level is to invest in funds such as that. Could you explain that?
Right. So I started investing in Pag-IBIG MP2 in 2013. At ako na-surprise talaga ako kasi the performance has really been very good. The average has been 6% in the past 10 years per annum. And mind you, Cito, this is tax-free because it's a government program. And then it's also 100% guaranteed by the government kasi, again, it's a national savings program. Compared to the banks na ang savings insured is only up to 500,000 pesos by the Philippine Deposit Insurance Corporation, for Pag-IBIG MP2, it is unlimited. So you can put in millions and millions and it's 100% covered by the government.
Okay, and so what are these? What is this MP2 you're talking about?
Okay, so we have the regular Pag-IBIG Savings one. That's the one where we should be regularly contributing every month. We are required to do that. If you earn 5,000 pesos per month, you are required to do that, to contribute 100 pesos. And then if you're employed, the employer will contribute 100 pesos also as a counterpart. Now, if you want to save more, Pag-IBIG opened another savings product. It's called Pag-IBIG MP2. It's modified savings Pag-IBIG 2, And this Pag-IBIG, so the term is for 5 years. You can start with 500 pesos, and any deposits that you want to place should be at least 500 pesos. Unlike Pag-IBIG 1 or P1, you are where you can put in every month, no? Ito namang Pag-IBIG MP2, you can put in anytime you want. You can add up to your account. So you can open an account and you can save on that account every month, every week, every day, or even just once, no? Kung ano yung gusto mo, whatever your purpose for the account is.
So you have to be a Pag-IBIG member. Kasi dati akong Pag-IBIG, and then when I left the Philippines, I used to be a Pag-IBIG member. When I left the Philippines, basically my employer said, you know, we can pull it all out for you para clear ka na when you leave the country. And I never really reinstated. So what happens if you're no longer a member, you're not a registered member?
Okay. As far as I know, Cito, once a member, you are always a member. So you can withdraw your funds. It can be down to zero, but your membership will not disappear. Very applicable to people who are migrating. I have family members who migrated, and they also took all of their funds, pero they're still members. And when they heard about Pag-IBIG MP2, bumalik lang sila. So for you, for your case, I think pwedeng-pwede ka pa rin bumalik.
Okay, now you mentioned the Pag-IBIG one, basic fund yun, all employees, you have to contribute 100 pesos a month if your salary is 5,000 above. Now for Pag-IBIG MP2 or modified Pag-IBIG 2, you can invest as little as 500 to how much? No limit, sabi mo?
Yes, no limit. Kasi what Pag-IBIG will do with the fund that they mobilize, they use that to fund the salary loans. So Pag-IBIG also gives salary loans to employees aside from housing loans.
Well, Vince, I know you're a very careful individual, and you're not going to put your name and your reputation on the line by endorsing something you haven't double-checked. Now, how sure are you about this setup? Because inaral mo ba yung performance ng mga platforms ng Pag-IBIG? Because nagpapautang sila for salary loans. How good are the people in paying back those salary loans? Baka mamaya pinautang mo yung pamana ng mga apo mo.
Oo. Actually, maganda yung performance dito, no? And when I attend the chairman's report of Pag-IBIG Fund, they always report that they get very good ratings or very good audit from the Commission on Audit. So laging unqualified ang kanilang ang kanilang audit report from the Commission on Audit, and that sends a strong signal na talagang yung management ng pondo ay maayos. And kaya sabi ko, these things should also be reported in the media kasi to also build trust with the agencies, not just the people, not just the politicians who are running through with our elections. Kasi institutions dapat talaga yung strong sa atin, and that's what I'm happy with Pag-IBIG MP2. And when I compared, I tried to take a look at the dividends in the past since its inception, talagang napakaganda. And ang lowest that I saw was about 4%, and the highest was 8%. And I also talk from experience kasi I tried it out myself, and very encouraging siya. One of the things that you just have to be mindful of is, of course, Pag-IBIG is not a bank na kunwari nag-time deposit ka sa bank and you opened a time deposit, you want to pre-terminate it, you can get your funds immediately. For Pag-IBIG MP2, it takes about 2 weeks to about a month to be able to liquidate, to pre-terminate your savings.
So pwede mo pa rin pre-terminate. But before we even go to pre-terminations and headaches, Vince, can you explain that? Kasi who can do it? You're promoting it in Taiwan. So lalapit sa'yo, may mga lang, Sir Vince, paano ba yung dapat namin gawin? Pwede ba kami dyan? Baka maipit pera namin. I mean, okay, you said 500. What is the ideal investment for an employee or for, some people who just have some extra cash na hindi pa naman nila magagamitin?
Right. Oo. So,
Kasi, sorry Vince, kasi there are people with money that's not big enough to put up a business, but too little that they're unhappy to just put it in the maleta.
Yeah. So, well, it's good to point out that we have to diversify our investments. So don't put everything in Pag-IBIG MP2. So that's very clear. And then when you save, kailangan po na you start with a purpose first. Para saan ba ito? Is this for, as you said, no? Is this for accumulating capital for your business? Is this for the education of your children? Is this for your retirement fund? So you can actually open multiple accounts in Pag-IBIG for that, or you can choose also other financial products appropriate for the purpose that you want. So sa Pag-IBIG, ang usual po na nire-recommend ko, maganda ito usually kapag pang-edukasyon ng anak, no? So lalo na sa mga OFWs, I ask them to open an account every year kasi you can have multiple accounts with Pag-IBIG MP2. They open an account every year for 5 years. Tapos once their child would already go to college, so may every year nagmamature na account, and that would now be the budget that they will use for the education of the child for that year. So pwedeng ganon.
In other words, for every grade, okay, sige, para sa grade 6 na, mag-open na tayo ngayon. Pagdating ng 12 months or 1 year and a half, pwede nating bunutin yan. Yun ang pambabayad natin for the tuition fee for grade 6. And then another account for grade 7, grade 8. Ganun ba?
Oo. But usually for college ko siya tinitignan kasi usually ang tinatarget talaga natin the lower income groups, and they usually go to the public schools. So ang college talaga yon, no? Ang tinitignan natin kasi 5 years yung term Cito So you have to wait 5 years. So on the 6th year mo siya technically mawi-withdraw. So medyo long term yung natin.
Okay. Buti nagtanong ako kasi so ibig sabihin you have money, you put it in, and it stays in for 5 years unless you pre-terminate, lugi ka. But
yes.
5 years patulog or papatabain yung pera mo.
So, yun, going back to your question, so magkano yung ilalagay natin? First, when you build up your savings, when you're building up your emergency savings, medyo hindi maganda yung Pag-IBIG MP2 because it's not immediately withdrawable. So if your purpose is for emergency savings, no, na something na kailangan mong mabunot agad-agad, then Pag-IBIG MP2 is not the most efficient way to do that. So kung ang purpose, as I mentioned, pang education, pang patayo ng bahay, then that's good. And that would depend on how much your budget is for those things.
Kumbaga, you are looking, as an example, it would be something more of a time deposit arrangement.
Yes.
You have the time, you have the money, you deposit it, and then you forget about it for the next 5 years. Now, what happens? Well, I know you're not with Pag-IBIG, Vince, pero mukhang kabisado mo naman eh. What happens when you pre-terminate? Because that's usually, people always say, you pre-terminate, you have to pay a fee or you lose some money.
Right. So, there are there are several conditions. So may conditions na if you get separated from work, if you somebody gets sick in your family or you get sick, somebody dies in the family, if an OFW gets repatriated, end of contract, you can pre-terminate your Pag-IBIG MP2 and there will be no pre-termination fees. So aside from those that I mentioned, if the conditions are not met, then there would be a fee, but the fee would be 50% of the dividend that you have earned. So for example, last year the dividend rate was 7%, 7.03% to be exact, no? The 3.5% will go to Pag-IBIG as the fees, and the 3.5% will go to you. So that means the capital is still preserved and you still earn. And effectively, if you take a look at it, it's still higher than most time deposit rates, even if it's pre-terminated with the fee.
Okay, Vince, can you please explain that to our audience? Because, you know, most of us don't, wala naman kaming time deposit eh. So, paki-explain nga, kung papipiliin mo between a bank and the Pag-IBIG, what's the scenario?
Okay. So for me, no, if you're going to use if the purpose of your savings is emergency savings, then good to place it in banks for time deposit, because yung time deposit sa banks, you can pre-terminate it anytime and it's very liquid. It can also preserve the capital. Although yung interest rate na ibibigay sa'yo once you pre-terminate it will be lower than what they have quoted you originally. So that's the advantage for for time deposits. A lot of people think kasi na yung time deposit ay hindi na pre-terminate, that you have to finish the term before you can withdraw it.
Yeah.
But in reality, you can actually pre-terminate it, but the interest rate that they will give you would be lower. In my experience, the capital is also preserved, pero talagang wala ka na talagang kikitain, no, sa interest.
Sa Pag-IBIG, meron.
Yes, sa Pag-IBIG, meron pa rin kahit na mag-pre-terminate ka. At I really compared, no, Cito, even I took a look at all the commercial banks in the Philippines. Hindi talaga nila makayang talunin yung Pag-IBIG MP2 dividend rate. Although, the difference also is for time deposits, you know how much you are getting because the bank already tells you the rate beforehand. For Pag-IBIG
fixed rate.
Yes, fixed rate siya. For Pag-IBIG MP2, it's variable because although it's a savings program, it's not a bank, it's a mutual fund. Therefore, we earn from dividends from it. And dividends are declared every March or April of the year. And it varies from from its inception from 4% to 8% per annum.
But they always have a payout. Hindi yung nalulugi or sorry, walang kinita last year.
Oo, wala pa naman. Kaya actually, ang interesting na tanong sa akin dito ng mga OFWs ay, paano Sir Vince kung gamitin yan sa Maharlika Fund? Kasi na-chismis dati na tinitignan yung Pag-IBIG na gamitin for Maharlika Fund. And I told them na, yeah, of course, that's one of the risks in getting to Pag-IBIG, but we are not 100% powerless. What we can do also is if it's going to be used for for the Maharlika Fund and you don't agree with it, you have the power to withdraw from Pag-IBIG MP2 and do the pre-termination.
Well, you can also take it to court as far as I'm concerned, because that was not the design of that investment engine, and the contract is between the people and Pag-IBIG, and does not involve any third party who can meddle with the money. Right. Anyway, that's a different political issue, Vince. But when you study the profile of Pag-IBIG payouts or interests, the interest they give compared to private banks, what did you learn?
Ayan. So for if you have if you have about 500 pesos, you get the same dividend rate for Pag-IBIG. So it's regardless of the amount. For commercial banks, the amount habang tumataas yung amount na nilalagay mo for time deposit, doon pa lang lumalaki yung interest rate, no? So yung dividend sa Pag-IBIG MP2, it's applicable to all. So it's democratized, kumbaga. It's not based on how rich you are, di ba? Ayun. And the highest interest rate that I got from a bank is you have to place 1 million pesos. This is from a commercial bank, no? 1 million pesos. And it attracts about 4% per annum. But they will still take out 20% withholding tax. So yung 4% mo, ang effective rate niyan talagang 3.2%. For Pag-IBIG MP2, it's tax-free. So when they say it's 7%, you get net 7%.
Okay, and on the average, I'm sure you did the multi-year average. Ano yung lumalabas na actual interest rate in a 5-year 5-year period.
For
Pag-IBIG versus private.
Yeah. So commercial banks, usually it would range with 1% to 3% per annum. With 1 million to, I'm talking about 1 million pesos. For Pag-IBIG MP2, that would be an average of 6% per annum.
Tax free pa.
Tax free pa. Kaya I think this is a very good way to challenge the banks also to improve their financial products. So if Pag-IBIG MP2 can do it, why can't they, di ba?
Well, your point is correct, and that has actually been a topic of discussion in the West now, where the opinion makers are challenging banks and exposing the banking system, that the global banking system is not pro-consumer. And that is why when my wife pointed out that Pag-IBIG is a better performance, sabi ko, foreigner na itong nagsasabi sa akin. Sabi ko, hanap tayong expert.
Anyway, handa ka na bang lumevel up sa savings mo? Join the SEDPI Kasosyo community and get started to be a social investor today. Step 1. Umattend ng self-paced online pre-membership education seminar. Mag-sign up sa bit.ly/SEDPI Coop PMES now na! Step 2. I-deposit ang iyong initial share capital, membership fee at joint venture savings sa GCash, BDO Online Banking, BPI Online Banking, Maya, EasyPay, or direct bank deposit. Daming options, di ba? Sundin ang simple instructions sa bit.ly/SEDPIPay para makapagsimula. Step 3. Mag-log in sa iyong SEDPI SRI online account at ipaalam ang inyong deposit. Go to bit.ly/SEDPI online SRI at kami na ang bahala sa iyo. Ano pang hinihintay mo? Sali na sa SEDPI Kasosyo ngayon and let's start building a brighter financial future together.